Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. Remember how it started?
Yep.
How it started, how it's going, right? But it's like, come on, man, you're not winning and you're not beating your rivals,
Ohio
and these
State,
are things you have to do. What a difference a few years make. I mean, think about it. Not beating the rival. Then the last 2 years, think about what he's done in his most important games.
Oh, but it's not even beating your rival. It's punishing your rival in the manner that you're beating them.
And now,
in a physical way.
I got to tell you, I hear all the Georgia love. Michigan, to me, should be the 1 seed overall. I think that they haven't lost, and they had the best win of the season. Maybe they win the national title. It could happen. Where are you right now with that?
Well, I would say if you would have put Michigan 1, I wouldn't have had an argument. Just with the way that they beat Ohio State, and they didn't do it at home. They went on the road and did it. That was the thing that made me that
went
much
on the
more
road
excited.
And beat the brakes off them dudes.
Your rival. But I will say this. I think it's kind of set up because Michigan and Georgia played last year in the college football semifinals, and Georgia basically gave them a spanking and told them to go back to the Big Ten. Now you're in a second year of making the college football playoffs. I think this Michigan team is different. Even though you don't have those first-round draft picks that you had on defense, the defense has been better this season. But now you have J.J. McCarthy at the quarterback position, right? Versus last year you had Cade McNamara was the guy that got you there. Now you have a guy that you potentially wanted to play last year. Now he's your quarterback. And a lot of people may ask, what does J.J. McCarthy bring different to the table than what Cade brought? I think the ability to be utilized in the run game, I do think he has to be polished a little bit more as a passer in tight windows. But I just like what this football team, Michigan, is. They're confident. They're not just excited to be making the college football playoffs. That happened to them last year. They're going there against TCU to win a game and potentially set up a rematch with the team that they got blown out by last year in the college semifinals down in the Orange Bowl, which were the Georgia Bulldogs.
You're hired if you're Jim Harbaugh. You got to win 2 games for sure.
Yep.
Michigan State.
Got to win the first one first.
And Ohio State.
Yep.
Got to win those games. And he's getting beaten by those teams and not doing great. And it looked bad. It looked like his days as a head coach at that level, I don't know, man. Feinbaum was killing him for good reason. But he has turned it around, and they are a powerhouse now. And they're beating the brakes off their rivals. As you said, at Ohio State, they did that to them. And so it makes me wonder, because you mentioned what Georgia just did to them, but Harbaugh seems to be a guy who, it may take him some time, but makes adjustments, gets better at his job, and his team gets better. Is 1 year enough time to flip it that dramatically against a team like Georgia?
Ooh, that's a tough question, because when you look at, it's all about matchups, right, and how you match up with teams. And the thing about Georgia that's so unique is that they don't throw the football all around the field like a lot of these college teams do, but they don't have to. They have a 3-headed monster in the backfield. They have one of the best players in college football, and Brock Bowers at the tight end position. The man could have left college. If he was able to leave college his freshman year, it would have been the first tight end taken. Would have been a high draft pick. They have it's so much they can do offensively, on top of guys stepping up and filling the roles of the people that they lost last year.
But they did lose. Last year they had a defense, and it didn't turn out that way. I think we will remember that Georgia's team's front 7.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, we were asking, could this be the greatest college defense of all time? Right? Not by the end, you would say no.
Rightfully so, though.
Right. But for a lot of by the end of the year, you'd say no, they're not the greatest college defense of all time. But the front 7 might have been, right? And you had a lot of loss off. Like, they're not as special in that way.
Yeah.
They didn't this year make you think at any point, is that going to be the greatest college football defense of all time?
No, and I think a big guy that they're going to miss in the college football semifinals is a guy named Nolan Smith, who got hurt.
Right.
He's not going to be able to play, but they do have a guy who's going to probably be a top 3, top 5 pick in Jalen Carter on their defensive line. Now, they have some young guys in MJ Sherman and Malachi Williams, who's going to be up and step up. Who I was more impressed with, especially in the Tennessee game in the secondary, was Starks in their secondary, and also Keely Ringo, who can potentially be a first-round draft pick for Georgia, going against Hyatt, who won the Blitnikoff Award last night and shut him down. I like how this defense got a lot of pressure on Hendon Hooker in that game, and basically was one of the deciding factors in that matchup being so lopsided in which Georgia won.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.